G'day guys, Paul here from Get Going. Welcome back to the channel. Out at Lamington National Park this weekend for an overnight hike. Out on the border track at the moment, heading out towards the New South Wales-Queensland border. Absolutely beautiful part of Queensland. Just gorgeous here in the rainforest. Lovely and cool up in the mountains. Bit muddy in places, but that's okay. So we have ourselves a bush campsite for the night. Being a national park, we can't have fires, but that's all good. Just brought the normal stoves and bits and bobs and a tent. But really looking forward to getting out again. Haven't been out for about 3 or 4 weeks due to a few issues at home with cars and bits and bobs. That's all good. We're back out again. And really looking forward to doing this hike, I must admit. It's just a beautiful part of Queensland. Well, when you know it's raining in a rainforest, what are the chances, right? It was a 50% chance of rain today. Looks like we're getting a bit of a shower, so we'll keep ourselves dry until we can get out of this. Find a tree to perch under. Just heading back down to a creek now, the Albert River itself. Hopefully to spy some nice waterfalls, but with all this rain and all this mud, you would expect the waterfalls to be running beautifully, so fingers crossed we'll be able to get some nice views of waterfalls in their, what would you say, the element at their best. Waterfalls at their best. Not sure if you can hear that or not. Just getting down towards the bottom now, we can hear the river, waterfall. Can you hear that? Very exciting. Love that sound. Well, we just pulled over at the top of a waterfall here, have a bit of a break and get some water, and remove about 30 litres off my legs. I am glad I decided to bring the tent this weekend rather than a tarp camp, and I'm really glad I did now, because I'm just getting hammered by leeches, and last thing I want is an open environment to invite leeches and whatever else into my campsite overnight. So it's going to be nice to be inside a tent, I must admit. Weather's starting to dry out again. We're getting a bit of sunshine, which is nice through the canopy. So I think we might push on and see some more of these waterfalls. Well, we're making our way back up the gorge, back up the river, passing lots of waterfalls, as you can see in the background. Absolutely stunning countryside. Starting to get a little bit dark, so we're going to push on, get up, see if we can set up camp, and find a place to sleep for the night. You probably can't tell on the camera because the camera's compensating, but it's very, very dark in here. Low level clouds moved in, very misty. I think a little bit harder to see. So I'm going to slow down a little bit because it's also very wet and greasy. Just working our way up the side of the hill now. Hopefully not too far from camp. Well, it's turned into a wet and dreary afternoon. Just working my way up the gully now, up out of all the waterfalls, looking for this camp spot. Just pulled over and grabbed some water, just in case there's no water near the camp spot. I think you can come back down a little bit and get water, but just in case, better to get some now than trying to find some later. The mist that we settled in on the mountains here before has now turned to rain. Big fat drops, and of course when that happens it drenches everything, so everything you're brushing against is wet, and I'm just getting soaked through here, so all good. Looking forward to camp though, I must say. Luckily I've got some dry clothes in a dry bag in my pack, so, and with the tent we can get inside the tent and get dry ourselves off and start to think about dinner. Cheers, guys. Well, we have literally got a tropical jungle evening, 6 p.m. at the tent. What an absolute slog. Got into camp at about 5:30 p.m. after taking off at 10 a.m. So it's a fair old hike today. Fair old hike. Unfortunately, it looks like this rain just set in, but it's just very, very, what do you call it, light rain, but heavy drops. So all good. We're nice and dry in the tent now. Just got into my dry clothes, drying everything off, sorting everything out, get myself organised in the tent here, and then we'll put on some dinner. Well, tonight we're having Greek Souvlaki, which is just marinated lamb. Marinade is just garlic, oregano, lemon, olive oil, and a bit of salt and pepper. So that should be beautiful. It's one of my favourite foods when I was growing up in Melbourne. So hopefully this will work as planned. Yum. Very nice. Wouldn't believe it, more blood. The leeches are everywhere, and I keep finding the little buggers because I see pools of blood. Anyway, let's eat this dinner. Get ourselves into bed and tucked away. Oh, a cup of tea at the end of the day is a great thing, isn't it, hey? Just love that. Got a bit of chocolate as well. So there's a few dripsy drops you can hear hanging on the old tent. It seems like the rain may have stopped, which is brilliant. Just hoping for a nice dry morning. We're not too far from the escarpment, which is the New South Wales Queensland border. So I'm hoping to be able to get up nice and dry in the morning, cook a bit of breakfast, bit of coffee, and then dash up to the actual border itself, the actual bluff, and get some a view up there and get some footage and so forth. Hopefully, if it's a dry day and a clear day, it'll be absolutely stunning. So really looking forward to that. We're not too far away from that at all now, distance-wise. Just looking out to see if I can see any stars and so forth. Nothing so far, still cloudy. So, anywho, I'm going to have this cup of tea, bit of chocolate. I'll see you all in the morning. Well, good morning folks. Had a camp at 7:30 a.m. heading out to Echo Point. Ended up having another camper, Mitch, turn up last night. Absolute champ. He's turned up a bit late, about 6:30. He was leaving O'Reilly's at about 2 though, so he left his run a bit late, but that's all good. He got in late last night and set up camp and got himself some dinner and off to bed, which was lovely. He was good enough to share the campsite with me. He actually booked it for the night, but there is more the room than just one tent there. There's no doubt about it. You could get probably 5 or 6 tents in there, no issue at all. So anyway, it was great to meet Mitch. Nice guy. So we'll head out to this Echo Point, as I said this morning, see what the view's like, and go along the actual ridge line of the border, as I said yesterday, and see what we can find. Hopefully this rain, which persisted all night, will clear up, and we'll be able to get some sort of view out over the valley, because I've been up here before on day hikes and on another overnighter many years ago, and the view is just next level. It's just brilliant. So anyway, we'll see how we get on. Well, this is the Echo Point lookout. What an absolutely awesome view. A lot of cloud around, as you can still see. Absolutely brilliant. At least we can see something. I've been up here and it's just fogged in. That is an absolutely stunning view. Well worth the hike, that's for sure. One of the great things about the border track is every now and then you get a bit of an opening. You get to see all that's behind you and out across the ranges again. Absolutely brilliant. Love it. Well, I've just traipsed up to this Bathongagool lookout and we're all clouded in. Bugger! You can just hear the wind down in the valley as it comes back up the hill here. Really lovely. But we are absolutely in low level cloud, unfortunately. Still, that's what you get in the mountains. Well, we're at the bottom end of the track now, only a couple of k's to go to O'Reilly's. Just pulled up to have a drink of water and to wrap up this video. Thank you for joining me this week. It's been a brilliant camp, really enjoyable. A little bit wet, but that's okay, we can deal with that. I'll leave some trip notes as credits at the end of the video for those of you watching on TV. I'll also add them into the description, so if you're on your mobile or your computer, you can just copy and paste into a note or whatever else for your own viewing or knowledge for later on if you want to do these hikes. Absolutely brilliant part of the world. A lot of people aren't aware that Queensland is more than stunning beaches, beautiful warm clear water, and a wonderful nightlife and theme parks and all that sort of stuff. Up in the hinterland behind Queensland, you've got this lovely subtropical rainforest with some of the best hikes in the world. So if you're ever planning on coming to Queensland, bring your hiking shoes, you won't be disappointed. Absolutely brilliant. I will wrap it up for this week. Thank you for joining me and those that watched through to the end. Mitch, if you're watching this, mate, thank you for letting me camp at your spot for the night, mate. Really appreciate it. I'll see you all in the fortnight's time. Bye for now.